watching Spiritual Combat. We on the road. On the road again. We heading back to Jacksonville. And we got a doing a lesson here by request. I was on the phone with a brother earlier today, and he was just asking me about this topic and asking why, he was just reiterating the fact that, okay? So, in no way, all right, there we go. So we're going to hit on a bunch of stuff here because he was just hearing him talk about this topic, being in marriage. A lot of times you get a lot of brothers, they come into this truth and their wife's not in the truth, or their wife will come in the truth, okay? And, and they're not in the truth. And it leads to difficulties. Then I get brothers who contact me, and both people are in the truth. But there's still, in the Hebrew community, there's a lot of relationship disorder. And as I said before, a lot of times, one of the, I'll just put it like this, because I'm going to hit on a whole bunch of stuff. What I'm talking about manifests in different ways, okay? But, one of the big areas, what you see is rebellious women or situations where the woman is just difficult to deal with. But in no way do I approach this topic, in a one-sided, keel, in a balanced way. So we're going to hit on a whole bunch of stuff. But also, I found an awesome feature over here on, because I see y'all coming in. I see people steadily coming in. So I'm going to just hit on some things. But anyway, found an awesome feature on YouTube. Next time somebody acts up, we see a troll in the live chat, we're not going to 300-second snooze them. We're going to put their ass to sleep. I got a feature on here where you can delete them off your channel, so they won't even be able to see the Spiritual Combat channel. Okay? So it's going to be like, poof, you're gone. So, like I said, I'm not really going to keep, I see Elder Rufus is in the, he's in there. He's in the chat there. So, we're going to, I'm going to just, if I see something going on, hey, they're going to be gone. So it's all good. Never to be seen again, ever. Real talk. I was just reading up on some of the features. I didn't know what they were, but I figured out how they work. So that's a blessing, okay? And that came at a timely time when Elder Rufus and some other people made it. They showed how big of a waste of a time it is entertaining these contrary people who come on here. So anyway, with that said, did you get a chance to rap with? Oh yeah, absolutely, Brother Nehemiah. Yeah, we got a chance to chop it up with Yaki and Malachi Maccabee. So that was a blessing. finally actually, I met Yaki up at the Hebrew Gathering up there, Ron's event. But it was a pleasure to finally meet Malachi Maccabee in person, because I've known about him and I've followed him for a long time. So, yep, we absolutely got to see it. All right? Yep. Them brothers got good spirits on. So, all right. So anyway, with that said, so yeah, what we're talking about is, one of the big things. Madison, what are you doing with that box?
It's just noise, and she's trying to keep it from making all the noise.
Okay, so one of the big things I get phone calls about all the time. I get emails about I give a lot of counsel on is, hey, Michael Israel, my wife's being difficult. She's acting crazy, this, that, and the other. She's not obedient. She doesn't respect me, this, that, and the other. And, I've watched people in the Hebrew community give input on this topic and stuff like that. Yeah, shalom, Sister D. Koya, Sister D said shalom to you.
Shalom, Sister D.
And
Can't
Sister,
wait to see you in Dallas, sis.
she says she can't wait to see you in Dallas. So anyway, all right. I hope we getting on the highway soon, because I feel I'm
Breaking a lot.
Corey is not gentle on them brakes.
Sorry.
We good. These people out here shopping like crazy. There was a dude out here with he forgot he had like some type of SUV, and he didn't realize he had the whole back of it open.
And his pine shavings.
Yeah, his pine straw with shaving stuff was falling out the back, almost caused an accident, but whatever. These people out here, they're high heaving there. All right, so here we go. So the way I'm initially approach this topic here is from the brothers, the way the brother presented it to me, because it comes up a lot of different ways. So, and we're gonna hit it. We're gonna hit it from the man's perspective, and then we're gonna approach it from the woman's perspective. So, there you go. That's good. A little ambient noise. So yeah, when I talk to brothers, the first thing I got to talk to the brothers about is, a lot of times when you, especially when you got brothers and sisters coming into the truth and stuff like that, the man doesn't even understand what it is to be a man. And a lot of men are so confident in what society and what their upbringing has taught them about masculinity and their role as a man and all that stuff like that. A lot of times these men they will fight you when you explain true masculinity to them. And that's not how this brother was who talked to me. He understands that he has growing to do. He's there. He's where he needs to be. He has the humility. But like I said, you got grown men out here leading ministries that don't even realize that they're feminized, that they and what they do, they play on words. But when I say feminized, you understand what I mean. Let's make it real plain. Let's not call it feminine. Let's call it you don't know how to be a biblical man. So you literally have men out here over whole ministries, and they have no idea what it means to be a man. And they literally, they look at biblical masculinity. And when I say biblical masculinity, when you comb through the Bible, you see how it identifies, it lays out how you're supposed to move and function as a man, and it lays out the woman's role. And you got these men out here, these ministries, and even in the Hebrew community out here that literally perfectly oppose the Bible in this area. And typically, when they oppose it in this area, they oppose it in all these other areas too. It's just a chain reaction, basically. But that creates a lack of good, clear information. But there's some stuff you gotta come to. Like when it comes to being a biblically masculine man, the biggest thing is you gotta realize what you do with the Bible. Okay. You have to align your emotions with the book, okay? Your emotions, your emotions have to align with the Bible. Baby, slow down. Go ahead and slow down, because you see that traffic jammer. Yeah, so you have to align your emotions with the book. And I said it 3, 4, 5 times because if you want to look at the core of anything going on in the Hebrew community, at the core of every issue, if you want to look at why people walk around with messed up lives and laden with sin and diverse lusts, it's because of this, man. People have made their emotions and a God and not the word. You know what I'm saying? They're not following Yah's word. They're following the blind, rudderless direction of their emotions. Okay? So we're building up to. So when you look in the Bible, when you look in the book, like literally, you got people. They're sitting there. You look around at the videos because it's a reality. It's a heavy reality shift from what you're taught in this society. What you swim in. You swim in a society of deceptiveness. Of sin. A destructive society by a destructive nation of people. All right, she gonna need to get over. I hope she knows what she's doing. Yeah, I wouldn't follow.
I got
Okay. Okay, I thought they were getting ready to get off. So yeah, we swim in a society of death. The Greco-Roman culture is a death culture. Everything they do, yeah, their farming system, it just depletes the soil. They GMOs, like everything they put their hand on as a nation, according to their culture, it just brings forth death. So when you look in their culture and you look at how this culture's understanding of relationships, how you're taught relationships in this nation, it just leads to death. It is not sustainable. It doesn't work. And it goes against, listen, this is heavy. It goes against what you're seeing in this society, man. These people crazy out here in Atlanta on the highway. I'm gonna just look down at my phone, so I ain't gotta. I mean, they cutting. It's like they on a speedway or something. So anyway, but it's a culture of death, okay, and it's destructive. So when you look at what the word says, and how we function in relationships biblically according to the Bible, it just completely opposite everything in this society. What this society wants you to be as a man, what these Christian churches want you to be as a man, when most of these Hebrew Israelites want you to be as a man. Oh my goodness. Baby, just slow down and give yourself space. Yeah. Yeah, so what this culture wants you to be as a man goes against a woman's nature, and what this culture wants women to be goes against a man's nature. And then what happens when you look at when you get on there and you look at the divorce rate, I thought it was 49%. Somebody's telling me it was 70% now. And it's also the marriage rate has dropped off because it just, folks don't get it. And me in particular, I really don't deal with men outside this truth in any meaningful way. Now, when I'm at work, I deal with a couple men. Outside of that, I really don't deal with men. So when I do see men that are not in this truth and I kind of deal with them, I'm almost shocked at what I'm seeing. Like when I watched TV this weekend because we were out of town, I was like blown away by some of the stuff I was seeing. Like you can see all the programming. It's coming from the commercials, from the sitcoms, from the movies, from the music, from everything. It's woman worship. And now you're looking at Hebrew Israelite, so-called Hebrew Israelite awakening, or whatever you want to call it. And like I said, I done had my head down in the grind, but now all this stuff's been going on, so I've been looking around and I'm blown away by, it's like literally, these Hebrew Israelite organizations are literally mirroring society. And it's funny because like at Spiritual Combat, I get so many emails and phone calls and stuff like that on this exact problem, marriage issues. And what it boils down to is the man not functioning in his role and the woman, of course, not functioning in her role. And our men don't realize the power, and I'm going to get into all this, but our men don't realize the power they have to get their relationship, to get their woman into being righteous, okay? They have a lot of power in that, and it's not yelling and through intimidation tactics, believe it or not. But also, a man does not have to, a lot of what these men go through, they don't have to suffer through it. And people, man, they don't like when I tell them that, hey man, you can leave. And a lot of times, they paint me as, give yourself some space. A lot of times they paint me as evil because I tell folks to leave, but what I'm really trying to do is avoid someone from getting too frustrated and it end up turning into an unreversible situation with jail or physical harm or legal ramifications or you name it, okay? So, yeah, so that's a big thing. Yeah, so yeah. But that's the, so we're going to get into all that. Like, what do the, what are men to do? And the first thing I start out with the men is, are you manly? Are you sitting there treating her like mommy? Because that's a turnoff. That goes against a woman's nature. When you're sitting there always explaining yourself, she gets upset with you, and you're always trying to explain, and well, this is that, and her emotional roller coasters. You tell her when she goes on an emotional roller coaster, you tell her scoot over so I could jump in there with you, and you go on it with her. You're acting like a woman. You know what I'm saying? The other thing you see a lot of it just because they encourage these women to be independent black women or independent women who don't need no man. This, that, and the other. I could do and this, that, you know. And then the men are brainwashed into going along with that. And it goes against a woman's nature. When I keep saying it goes against a woman's nature, it's not attractive. It's a turnoff at the very instinctual level. It's written in women that it says the man was not made for the woman, but the woman was made for the man. And when you treat them like that in a biblically masculine way, in a righteous, biblically masculine way, because what I've been seeing out here is you got women out here acting like even the remote display of masculinity, of being confrontational, is abusive, you know. And all Hebrew men are just these wicked, abusive, people, you know. And they're just painting that picture when not only is that a one-sided look at the problem, it's worse than one-sided because it is actually more the opposite. You know what I'm saying? But because men won't step up to the plate, what do I mean step up to the plate? These men have been bred into being non-confrontational, go along to get along, keep the peace, do it for the kids, and all this stuff. And dudes is not really wanting to be men. They don't really want to do what this book says in their relationships, in any way. You know, and like y'all have heard the past videos and stuff I'm talking about. These people have a form of godliness, but they lack the power. There's better verses than that, but they, you know, it says, Lord, these people gonna come to him and say, Lord, Lord, have I not cast out demons in your name? And done this, that, and other, and he's going to say, depart from me, you workers of iniquity. What's iniquity? You're not keeping the laws. You ain't doing the book. You got some spiritual powers, but like I said, like prior to coming to Straightway, I've been a part of ministries and watched them cast out spirits and cast out demons and do all this stuff and speak in tongues, and you know they got the spirit on them, but they not walking in the spirit. They're not really walking it out. You got to walk it out in spirit and in truth. And we're going to stay on topic. I'm not going to jump off and go into other things I see, but relationships are a big part. Corey, you don't have to keep up with them. Just get in the lane, and because they're going to have... They like weaving through there. But yeah, so they said, yeah, they said or I said, these ministries I've seen people walking in power, doing all types of stuff, but not really doing what the book says. It's kind of like I said, a form of godliness, like the Bible says. So when these relationships, when they get real frustrated, when a woman's not doing, going in the way she should. I know a lot of brothers, they're like, she's not gonna go to the feast days. She ain't gonna do this. Well, and what happens, a lot of these men, they just end up kind of going along. I don't want her mad. You know, I just want to keep the peace. I want to do it for the kids. And it says, children are their oppressors, and their women rule over them. And the women have become God. And these men work, they don't realize it because they don't realize what worship is, but they end up worshiping their woman over the Most High Yah. So instead of being obedient and gathering yourselves together, forsaking not the assembly, this, that, and the other, instead of doing that, they gather under her and they try to keep her. Well, why are you upset? And this, that, and the other, and they let the woman manipulate them through their emotions. And then what happens is like it's a spiral. It's a spiral down. It's just because it's not attractive. And a lot of it, like the best word I hear used for this, they call it a test. Like a woman will test you. The way I put it better is a woman knows what you're made of. You know what I'm saying? And we can right get into the women, but they know what you're made of. The Most High got them wired up to have attention to detail, to watch every little minute thing and read into it. So what they can do is, if they use that on the wicked side, they can sit there and watch you and figure you out and run tests on you and figure out, okay, if I do this, he gonna do that. They're watching every damn thing. You know what I'm saying? And they got those skills because they're sensitive. Heightened senses. They're seeing all this stuff. But a righteous woman is gonna use that for godly things. For, okay, what is he like? What's the perfect way he likes this food? What does he need here? He wired him up that way to be your helpmeet. But what this Greco-Roman beast system has done is rewired these women through your behavior a lot of times if you're in a relationship. They've rewired these women to destroy you, to manipulate you. You see what I'm saying? So, so what do I say? A lot of times men get in arguments, they'll argue, they'll go back and forth, they'll try to explain, and they don't realize they're giving their power away. But what it's about is action. Be a man of action. Stop talking so much and just do what you're going to do. And if they take, they take. If they don't, they don't. Most men are so soft and they have their woman on a pedestal so high that they wouldn't dare. They can't even conceive this thought in their mind. Like what I'm saying is literally something they don't even want to think about. Okay? So it's real talk. So let's go. Brother Matt said the whole point to getting the demons out of us is so we can better keep the commandments and hearken to the Spirit, not just to get temporary relief from our pains. Exactly. And what I'm talking about, what I'm bringing to your awareness, this spirit of effeminism in men, these weak, soft men. That's a spirit. And a lot of times that's a spiritual stronghold on men that they need to, like the brother just said, a lot of times you will need deliverance to get that demon of feminism or that spirit of fear, that spirit of neediness. A lot of men, because now here we go, we're gonna get into the real heavy stuff. A lot of men are so shy, for lack of a better word, are so timid, are so afraid of being themselves. They're so, I guess, shy is the best word, that they feel lucky they got this woman, and they, I go being lonely for another 40 years, when those spirits, those behaviors are listed, being timid. Man, you got that thing hooked up. You know me. I used to be in the car. So anyway, but they're timid, they're shy, they're not outgoing. They're afraid of public interaction. That's why I be drilling y'all. That's why a lot of these dudes don't come out. These men and women alike, they don't come out to these conferences and meetings because they have a spirit of fear on them that manifests in being timid and shy and all this. You gotta come out that shell. So a lot of dudes will just settle for some monster. She'll dominate them, castrate them, and they'll just worship her because they overvalue the woman, and that's a turn off. I'm hitting the same thing from multiple angles so you get it.
So they overvalue her?
They overvalue the woman.
What is overvalue?
How is it?
What is that?
Overvalue is putting her value over their self-esteem. So the man, because I done seen some stuff with men that literally it made me like literally they were treating their wife like their mother, and she literally talked to the dude like she was the mother. Okay? It wasn't equals. It was, I'm your mommy and you're the son. And that was literally the relationship. And she would do it in public, and it was embarrassing to me. So that's overvaluing her. You know what I'm saying? So, let's see. So, let's hit it from one more level. Man, look at these people, man. These folks crazy. This dude just literally just crossed, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lanes. Man, these people crazy. But anyway, y'all pray some travel mercies on us, some travel prayers. So, and this is right along the lines of what we're fighting with, man. This, what I'm talking about, going through this, seeing this on yourself, is a weighty matter, man. Yeah, you know. All right, there we go. We back. But yeah, it's a humiliating thing, realizing that, coming to that realization, but you got to go through that. You got to grow. But what you see is widespread in the Hebrew community. Is literally, they're up here like, oh yeah, and these guys make their wives call them master, and they do this and they do that. I don't make Koya call me anything. She does it out of respect. She has a high degree of respect for who I am, what I do. I didn't say. We don't. It's not even a thing. We have arguments, so you know what I'm saying. Why isn't it a thing we have arguments? She sees the footwork. You know. I'm not treating her like mommy. I treat her like wife. And when I say like wife, in the role of a wife according to the Bible. The head of the man is Christ. The head of the woman is the man. Period, point blank, plain and simple. And I go through it all the time, exactly what that means. And as Christ loved the church, so are we to love our wives. And so the way he dealt with Israel is the same way we're to deal with our wives. And a lot of times, these Christian Hebrews and society, but particularly these Christian Hebrews, and of course in Christianity, when they read that verse, what they subliminally tell you is, treat her like a perfect princess and lick her boots in this fashion, And what they don't know, they're, like that verse I read, they're subverting whole houses. They're destroying houses. It's a woman cannot be attracted to a bootlicker. And you could ask any woman, and if any women are watching on here, in all your past relationships, if you had them, what man had you just really, attracted, really got your attraction going? And it was that real dude, that dude who wasn't worshiping you. He was an independent dude. That's why that the so-called bad boy thing always comes up. Women like bad boys. No, it ain't they like bad boys. They just like your bad boy doesn't worship women. That's all that is. A bad boy has put something in front of the woman, and she's not the object of his worship. All right, hold on. Corey is chiming in. Go ahead.
Well, a bad boy, if he's in the world, he might worship women because he might have a slew of women that he succumbs to when he wants something from women.
Yeah, he want that thing. Yeah.
So, if he's not righteous and he's a bad boy of the streets or righteous, he, unknowingly might be worshiping women because that's his God.
Okay, but what I'm talking about is the bad boy. He's not needy. And when I say bad boy, I mean not bad men or bad boys, but that term, women. That statement that they make, women like bad boys. And when you look into what they're actually saying and the type of person they're actually referring to, let's clarify in a even more. If you look at those types of men, that we could call them naturals at pulling women that's successful, they can attract women. Women are, I called it a bad boy, but we're going to clarify. These dudes that have no problem creating attraction among women. Okay? Now that don't mean he's righteous, but what I'm saying is, I'm looking at what you need to look at is what is he doing that is right, that gets women so attracted. And every single time across the board, what you find out is he treats the woman like she's made for him. Just like the book says. He's not like these, and the woman gets upset and it just totally throws his reality into chaos, and because he puts her on a pedestal. If you want to be a man who can attract and have a successful relationship and keep your woman attracted and hot and bothered about you, then you gonna put the book size way, then you, then her. But I'm telling you, in this Hebrew, with these so-called Hebrews out here, it's the woman first, then the Bible, then the man. And I get the phone calls. Oh, she rebellious. I don't ever get none, and everything else. I'm like a mechanic with it. I'm like, okay, keep talking. Like,
but you know what, Michael? I'm starting to think that a lot of these phone calls are coming from people who don't have the Holy Spirit.
They don't have the what?
Their significant other don't have, and they're, like
And a big part of it, she was talking about them having the spirit. And going back to the other thing I was talking about, it is not only not having spirit, but having spirits.
Yeah.
And stuff that needs to be brought to awareness, like what I was talking about earlier, where this is a spirit of, I'd like to call it's the Ahab spirit on a lot of our men. And I know there's people out there saying, oh no, Jezebel was obedient. Well, let's call it a spirit of rebelliousness on the women. That is divined on them through the witchcraft of this society, through the witchcraft of parents and family and friends and society. There's a witchcraft that there's a spell cast on you, or whatever you want to call it, brainwashing, whatever term, to where now this is how you function. And then when somebody comes along and shakes that up, because it doesn't feel good, it feels like an attack. Okay, this is some heavy stuff though. I get y'all. It's always considered a woman. I've always considered a woman a weaker vessel, so coming into the faith was a smooth transition. Right. And I'm going to tell you this. If you're not walking according to this book, a woman will overpower you. That's real talk, man. Not trying to serve. Yeah, they served a woman. This is one of the dividing lines in the so-called Hebrew Israelite, among so-called Hebrew Israelites is, and you got some men they don't get this on a spiritual level, so they go from being a bootlicking, woman-worshiping chump, then they go to being, hyper-masculine macho boy. So they just flip all the way over to the other extreme. But you can still see that it's the same spirit. It's a spirit of fear still. So they're overcompensating for it. That's all. And then of course, you get the feminist Hebrew teachers up there painting every single man as a hyper masculine macho boy who oppresses his wife and all this stuff like that. When it couldn't be further from the truth. Somebody asked, Brother Mike, if you take a look at a deliverance manual to check out some of Win Worley's books, you will notice some things that line up with what you are saying. Yeah, all this. So look, what you find, man, when you start, because you got to get understanding, because you got to know what's in you and the dynamics of what's working, so that certain things are just from you getting understanding, they're going to come off you. But I'm telling you, there's men out there who were raised, like I've known men in the past, like when I was in the Guard, Air National Guard and all that. Dude was brought up in a house of women with a domineering mother, a domineering big sister, and then a couple other sisters. And his, like, no man within 100 miles his whole life growing up. And his relationship situation was just brutal. It was a sad state of affairs. And that's because he didn't even know that he didn't know that he needed to be a man. And brother like that, like somebody like that, that spirit had possessed him. So he needed deliverance from that. That wasn't just going to come off from just getting some knowledge and an understanding. Yeah, that was a deep-rooted Ahab spirit on him. And this, in varying degrees, this is the norm out here. And it's important to get biblical understanding on this, because casting the thing out is one thing, but then you got to fortify your spirit so that it don't come back worse and it don't get messier. You know what I'm saying? You got to get understanding on the whole thing. All right, that's my relationship, family history, brother, at Michael Israel, Spirit of Fear. Praise God. Yeah, there's a spirit of fear. I had it. I mean, that's why I can speak on it the way I can, because now I didn't have, because my father was in my life, so on the basic levels I understood masculinity, but in a lot of areas I didn't. And you know, but you know,
Before we got married or after we got married?
yeah, that so with me and Corey, that was way before I ever met Corey, because what happened, I was 26 years old, and what happened, I was just struggling with relationships and stuff like that. I just turned women off like a light switch. Boom. It was like, and I could not figure it out. And it was just a lonely, dark period of my time all the way to the age of 26. And then, hold on, I'll get you one second. And then, you know, I made a declaration to myself. I said, I'm going to figure this area of my life out. And I understood it was just an area that a section of my life that had to get in order. But that section of my life ended up leading me all the way to the truth we're in now. What we saying?
Well, when we met, I thought you were very attractive. I thought
You
you
hear?
were charming. I thought you were funny as heck.
Oh, wait. All right.
And
So Corey is saying,
I was so shocked that you were single. I was like, what?
y'all listen, can y'all hear what she's saying? I'll repeat it to you.
Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all, because we don't talk about our relationship, you know.
Can y'all hear?
I guess online.
Let me see if they can hear.
Whatever, but I guess people want to know. People are probably curious about how we met, how long we've been married, and some of our dynamics between how we, you know, habitate together. I don't know, but people are just curious. So when I first met you, Michael, I was very attractive, tall, you were, you know, funny, outgoing, you were brutally honest, you didn't have any game.
Wait. I knew you. Hey, look.
Hold on, let me
Hey, look. My game
No.
was so airtight to this day. She swear I ain't got no game, boy. This game was airtight,
No, y'all, he is not.
boy. My game, like.
The game was he didn't have any game.
That's right. Boy, it was airtight.
But it was a breath of fresh air, because I was tired of, you know, being approaching me with this, well, hey, conversation and just.
This is.
And so listen, and I never.
Hold
saw
on,
you
it's skipping.
Okay.
Yeah, there goes. It's back up.
I never saw you as him. I never saw you as someone who needed to get your balls back. I never saw you.
Oh, I had them on by then.
I never saw that part of you. And I mean, you were masculine when I met you. So when you talk about some of this stuff, sometimes it throws me off, because I never experienced that with you.
Right.
And like I said, you were attractive, and you still.
So yeah,
are.
when I met her, I had done a lot of work on myself, just developing. I had to rewire how I thought about women, and the sad part about it, it was half truths from society that I had to get that information from. Because at the age of 26, I said, I'm done with the church. There's no answers here. And I went out into the world to get the answers. But when I came back to the truth, found out I was a Hebrew, and started studying the Bible, I realized the stuff I had learned was right there in the Bible, but it was pure truth. Now, let me hit on some stuff she said, because she said a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you kept
Hey, look.
laughing
My game was so airtight. To this day, she swear it wasn't game, boy. Hey, look. Hey, your brother was tight. Hey, look, my game, when I was out in the world, my game was so tight, I had the women buying me the drink.
You were just funny, you were charming, and you were just honest. There wasn't any guile in you, and you wasn't lying about anything you wanted from me. Like, you were open about your expectations.
You understand that. Y'all know what that means, right?
I mean, I was just like, okay, all right, cool. Let's keep talking.
Yeah. Let me... All right, my feed's skipping a tad bit, so hold on. Hey, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna adjust this thing so it don't skip at all. All right, I'm gonna lower my bit. Yeah, we'll get it going. It's just we're going through a slow section right now. That's all. But yeah, so what? All right. We're going to have to drop that. That should make it so it doesn't skip as much, okay? So look, so we're going to go in even deeper. We're going to get down to because before I had embarked on developing masculinity and becoming a man, in order, what I would do is, what I thought, because I hadn't been taught anything, I hadn't learned anything about women and dealing with them and everything. But what it really was is I hadn't been taught to be a man, because women are attracted to men. That's how the Most High wired them up. And what I had to develop in myself, what I was doing prior to that is I was trying to trick and manipulate and cater to, and I was going off with society and what I had seen, and I was going off of what I was seeing in society and media and everything around me, trying to figure out, and what the Christian church was telling me on how to deal with women. And basically they tell you, just cater to them, treat them like perfect princesses and this, that, and the other. And you know all the stuff we see now. And it was a turnoff. So what I had to do is I just studied. I never came across, so I got it. And the Bible is even more freeing in that it doesn't tell you, because that's why the stuff I was taught was a half-truth. It said, tell the woman what you want and they'll give it to you, But what the book tells you, what the Bible tells you, it tells you precisely how you need to be operating. You know what I'm saying? So when I when I came into the truth, it made it even easier, because now you have a very narrow way of conducting yourself as a man. And then with my vast knowledge, because I studied this stuff for years, the half-truths from society, becoming kind of a player, whatever you want to call it. But then when I got in the book, I was like, what the Most High laid out here is genius. I was like, this is amazing. I was like, nobody could teach you this out in the world, And man, that verse is so heavy. If you diligently hearken unto what this book says, it's going to go good. But the thing is, you got a lot of noise out there. You got people that will take scripture that plainly is saying one thing and they'll twist it to say something else.
Wow, that place is packed.
Yeah, look at this, y'all. A Tangler outlet. Look at all them cars over there. And the traffic's all jammed up. Everybody, look at all them blowing that money. Like there ain't a recession coming. But yeah, so that's why the book is so heavy, because and I need to go through all this, but one of the heavy scriptures is, it says, the man was not made for the woman, but the woman was made for the man. Man, if you function in that, that right there is going to greatly improve your relationship. All right? Somebody put Exodus 2 verse 44 read the scripture, if you believe in the work. Yeah, you need to put that in there. I'm on the road, so I can't pull that scripture up. So you'd have to put it in there if you wanted me to read it. But yeah, man, so a big part, it literally, what I found, I'm going to tell you what I have literally found talking to a lot of these men out here is this is at the core of their problems, okay? And sometimes the man has done so much damage in there that, hey, if she ain't going to go that way, you just need to be going. Let me talk about something else that I hit on. Since you see me say all this, is when it comes to this truth. Because I've dealt with some brothers, they were having issues with their wives because they came into this truth. The wife was in some other religion, whatever. One in particular comes to mind where the brother was wrestling with a situation, and what ended up happening is, he came into the truth. She was into her belief thing. There were a lot of similarities in what they believed in because she was a Seventh-day Adventist. But they were getting in these debates that was so heated over doctrinal stuff. But what I say, don't explain yourself. Don't go back and forth. Show that footwork. Move. Make moves, So what I told him to do is, hey, stop going back and forth with doctrine. Don't do that. I was like, if y'all going to talk about the book, talk about something y'all both agree on. Like, y'all both agree on the book of Proverbs, right? Y'all go do Bible studies together on that. And then let her see that in your personality. Let her see that spiritual development, that spiritual change, that lack of engaging all these petty arguments. That let her see that you no longer jump on the emotional roller coasters with her. You just sit there like you at the amusement park, just watching the rides, but you ain't getting on nothing. You know what I'm saying? Let her see that, and that's a big change. It takes a lot of spiritual growth to get to that level. And that is a way more powerful witness than you up there, look what the script said. Go to this verse, look. Y'all going back and forth, Royal Rumble. All right, let me see if this thing is it skipping? No, it's not skipping. Hey, y'all put a 10 in there if y'all feeling what I'm saying. If y'all get where I'm coming from thus far. If y'all got any questions, y'all can go ahead and ask them too. But yeah, man, that is how. All right, that's good. So a big what? You talking to me about what's going on?
People are buying Rolls Royces out there.
So one of the big things that a lot. All right, I ain't even gonna tell you what to do. I'm gonna show you what I did. You know what I would do? Once I got a working knowledge and an understanding of all this stuff. And what I did was, mind you, I wasn't in the truth at the time. I was in half-truths. But it was better than the full lies that Christianity was teaching me. So anyway, what I started doing is going through the fear, developing masculinity, getting rid of the spirit of fear. One of the things I do is just, I could be anywhere, wearing anything. I just walk up to anybody and talk. Walk up to women and talk. I remember one time I was at an upscale lounge at a hotel, like a music lounge or something. And I just walk up to a whole table of like 8 women and just start talking to them. Boom, 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 boom. And just breaking that fear of interaction with someone. That nervous, fearful energy. Women detect that. And women like men, and men are fearless. They not. Y'all just heard Koya talking, and she could tell that I was comfortable in my own skin. All right, it's skipping a little bit, I guess. All right. So yeah, she could tell I was comfortable in my own skin. I didn't have a spirit of fear on. And I see so many men with a spirit of fear, with a spirit of neediness. And when you combine the spirit of fear with the spirit of neediness, you know what you got then? A single man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, and it's a big thing. I know what I'm talking about, hitting hard, because this is a major thing in the community. And a lot of these men, so we'll take that timid man with a spirit of fear, and you take that man, and he meets a woman, he marries her, and I mean, the spirit of clinginess and fear and neediness and that mommy spirit he put on him, and it's just such a turnoff to a woman. She just nags you in events, these conferences. All right, hold on. It's gonna stop it from skipping so much. Okay. Anyway. All right, let me fix this. We'll get this thing going. It's not letting me mess with that, so it's doing something though. I'll just wait till we get. All right, there we go. Our signal's back up. So anyway, so if you're a single man, let me tell you this. One of the most fearful areas of everything, and one of the things that takes the highest level of, focus and everything else. Let me see how this. Everything. And one of the things that takes the. Okay. So yeah, it's lagging a little, but hey, we on the road, but y'all can hear me. Okay. So one of the most, again, I'm trying to choose the right set of words, but one of the things that takes the boldest spirit, it requires the highest level of mental capacity. It just takes a lot to do is public speaking and dealing with people. Like a lot. There we go. It's doing something now. All right. Okay, there we go. All right. So, things you could do. All right. He was asking, what do you do? First thing, get your mind right. I'm going to tell you why a lot of men are weak. A lot of men struggle with a lot of stuff is because they don't challenge themselves. They don't push. And Christianity encourages you to just stay passive and to not challenge yourself. Okay? So what are some ways you can challenge yourself? What are some things you could do? So what I used to do is when I was developing my communication skills, basically, is any store I went in, anywhere I went, I'd make sure I go, hey, how you doing to people? Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? And then I progressed that to saying, hey, how you doing? And trying to have a short conversation if the social, whatever timing or whatever coordination, whatever the word is, permitted it. Like the social situation called for it. A lot of people don't have social intelligence. And social intelligence ain't nothing complicated. It's just when you get out there and you talk and you get around people, you begin to, your mind naturally picks up when to say what, when to stop talking, when to start talking, the social cues, you know? And when a woman women can see when, you're socially apt, and that's a sign that it's an indicator. It's not the tell-all, be-all, but it's an indicator that, hey, this dude is, he's on it. There might be something good, but if you're up there with that serial killer approach, I really like women. They're like, oh, these women just don't like me. That's a lot of dudes. They got that damn serial killer approach. That junk ain't gonna work. It's like, they ain't got, so you gotta put the work in. You gotta, that's why I be ain't crazy. Meet people, because there are crazy people out there. Yeah. So let's struggle. Talking with the brethren on Marco Polo, I look around a lot and feel insecure and realize that's a spirit. Yeah, that is. But look, you don't have to. All right, let me get past this skipping. All right. Yeah, we're gonna go all the way through this, and I'm gonna do a bunch of for Universal. All right, well, shoot, check this out. I'll tell you how it is. Look, I was scared. I get scared. Like when I was up there hosting the Dry Bones Rising conference yesterday, at the beginning, go back and watch it. I was scared, but I don't have no fear. I go right through being scared. Like if I find something I'm scared of, sometimes I'll just do it. Thanks. Ooh, look at that traffic jam. All right, there we go. We're back. All right. So yeah, so what I was saying, like I said, if it skips, don't worry. I'm not going nowhere. Just stay on. I'm going to hit everything because I know this is a big thing because it was a big thing for me back in the day. Now it's just a little, but in reality, it's just a little piece of your life, But yeah, you got to look, you have to challenge yourself. Always, and social, in all of your, and back up. All right. So, do you recommend a course? One of the problems we tend to have. And a lot of times it delivered, and you got to become aware of the spirit of in order to deal with the spirit of fear and get the spirit of pride cast off. But getting delivered is understanding, oh, I'm wrestling with this. This is in me. I want it off me. Boom. All right? All right, so let's see. Pride. And understanding that, yeah, and once you get that spirit off you, it doesn't, because you do push through certain things. You know what I'm saying? My wife and I are an oddity where we've been together since high school and grew in faith. Yeah, that's a blessing. I struggle with it. Yeah, that's you put. I struggle with anxiety and nervousness really bad, even when I'm talking to the brothers. Yeah, that's the norm. I'm telling you. They even have a thing like a mental disorder, a social something disorder or whatever, you know. All right, let's see. But I'm gonna hit on that in a sec. Same thing happens to me. It just jumps on sometimes. With women, understand that there are more women than men. Yeah. Yep. And you only need to meet one, you know. So, going back to what the brother's saying. Number one, a lot of people and a lot of y'all, like, being willing to type that in there, that means you don't have the spirit of pride on you. You know, you're ready to do something about it. And like I said, you can't sit up in an apartment or in a house or sit up somewhere all day and then you go to work. You get in your car, you drive to work. You see the same people all the time, and you drive back home. And boom, 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 boom. You got to get out there. You got to start little by little talking to people. I told people a good place to go. We got a grocery store here in Florida called Publix. And you could just go in Publix, and for their cashiers, the cashier's instructed to try to have a small conversation with every customer. So every time you go in there, hey, how you doing? And just try, instead of being like, I'm good. They'd be like, oh, I'm doing good. I went to the so-and-so. Just slowly progress. Work Israel videos 24/7. And so yeah, it's about to get better though, because we're coming into the year. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's terrible, man. All right, there we go. That should be better. Watching spiritual combat videos 24/7, and if some change to magically happen, then you know you're gonna just keep getting what you get, and it's gonna keep coming back. A lot of these spirits, y'all get delivered from. Let's see this. Because it look like we definitely gonna be doing, you know, we're gonna be up there straightway, stuff like that. And I'm literally I got some phones tethered, so it's like I'm literally getting 2 signals, and it's still pathetic. Alright, now we're getting better. Alright, so what I was saying is, if you sit there and you watching spiritual combat videos 24/7 and think some change gonna magically happen, then you're sorely mistaken. And you get the demon cast out, but you got to be taking the actions required to keep them off you, so that they don't come back with something stronger. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, there's work that has to be done. So going back to what the brother was asking, yeah, you got to look for little things you could do. Like I said, go to the grocery store, just have a little conversation with the cashier. Then after that, every person you walk by that you make eye contact with, say, hey, how you doing to them? I've literally done this. And then moving forward, each person I would make eye contact with, if the situation permitted, I have a small conversation with them. And this is what I did early on when I was by myself, around the age 26 here in not in Jacksonville, when I was in Middle Georgia, okay? And I was studying all this stuff and developing and overcoming this spirit of being timid and being shy and scared of social interaction. But what happened, I was up there and I was doing all this work, and I was beginning to meet women too, but I was in Middle Georgia. So what happened one day, it was like a 1 month period. I went up to New York or to New Jersey to visit a friend. And then I went, 2 weeks after that, I went to Vegas with my military unit, Nellis Air Force Base, for about for 2 weeks. Yeah, and the plane broke. So the plane broke the day we got there, so we didn't have to work for 2 weeks. We just were hanging out in Nellis. Anyway, so what happened, I had been working on all this stuff and doing all this, and I was getting success. You know, I was meeting people, I was talking to different people, I was making connections. But what happened, it wasn't until when I went up to New York City, or I went to New Jersey, and then we linked up with one of my friends. And like I said, I wasn't in the truth at this time, but we had linked up with one of the friends in New York City. And, you know, we hung out at a couple kind of upscale lounges or whatever there. And literally, I would go in somewhere, and I got in that mode of just having little small talk conversations with people. So I did it when I got there, and people were just coming around. And at one point, somebody came up to me and asked me if I was a celebrity, because they seen how all the people were coming up to me, you know. Then went out to Vegas, same thing. And like I said, I'm leaving out a lot of details. Yeah. But anyway, all that to say, you gotta, get the spirit off you, but don't leave out actually doing things too. Like, you can't, you ain't gonna just get deliverance, get that spirit off you, and then just go back and sit around and don't do nothing to keep it off you, you know, and get your mind right and keep your mind right. And I see that with a lot of people. They'll get something off them, like even with me, when I got rusty. So I went out to look at billboards. And that was initially because I was getting healed from all that. So I had to get healed up. You understand? So, and I see that a lot. You know, people don't take the action. And he's some big